Hey there, how there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome to yet another Cutter Top 10 FIFA World Cup video. And today we're going to be looking at the top 10 FIFA red cards. You see red? Red? No, sorry, red cards in history. They don't have to be from the finals or like knockout stages, they could be from the group stages and all that. And some of them are. And all that. So, anyhow, there's some critical red cards that are ranked based off of the sheer stuff with the red card and like the historic representation. There is one foul that a lot of people probably thought was a red card, and that was 1974 when the Zaire player, now known as the Democratic Republic of Congo player Moapu, kicked the ball away from Brazil before a free kick. That was just a yellow card. That's not a red card, so that does not count. Okay, first, number 10 is John Hedika against Spain 2010 final. You can also put Marcel Desailly, 1998 France, on this because they both got sent off during the final. It was not really like common, cool, and collective. Hedika got booted for the Dutch, although the Spaniards scored the winning goal earlier, and Desailly got a red card despite the fact that France beat Brazil 3-0. That's low on this list. Number 9 is Josip Simovic versus Australia, 2006. This was a comical one because Simovic in the group stage between Australia and Croatia ended up being booked 3 times by Graham Poll. A lot of people said Graham Poll was going to be the front runner to be the referee for the World Cup final. Unfortunately, though, Poll made a giant mistake. He gave Simovic 2 yellow cards, which equates to 1 red card. Unfortunately, though, he forgot to show red. Simovic got another yellow card, and he was sent off this time. So it was weird. Graham Poll had just blown his chance to officiate the final with that mistake. Number 8 is Jose Batista. Not that Batista, Batista, not Batista Bomb. Against Scotland, 1986. Scotland were in tight. They were trying to get to the World Cup knockout stages. They could get in if they took 3rd place in their group. Of course, they were in the group with Germany and were they in the group with Germany and Denmark, I think. But anyway, Scotland needed to beat Uruguay. Uruguay decided to do something dirty. They would basically beat up on Gordon Strachan and a lot of the Scottish players to make sure Scotland did not get the goal needed to get to the knockout stages by chance. And Jose Batista did the same. He got sent off after 56 seconds. The war was on. Uruguay tied Scotland 0-0 and got to the round of 16 and not Scotland. Kind of bullshit. Because Scotland keeps getting out at the worst possible time. 1954, they misjudged the heat in Switzerland. 58, they were doomed against France. 1974, they lost on goal differential to Brazil because they couldn't beat Zaire more than Brazil did. 78, they tied freaking Iran, which cost them dearly. 82, they lost on goal differential to the Soviets because they gave up 2 goals to the Kiwis. 86 was this Uruguay. 1990, Jim Layden makes a goalkeeping mistake, and it didn't help. They lost to Costa Rica as well. And 98, they just couldn't do anything, even against Morocco. So yeah, so Scotland, phooey. But yeah, that's what happened. Number 7 is the double elimination of Pedro Monzon and Gustavo Dosati for the Argentines in the 90 final. Argentina and West Germany were battling each other for the second straight final. 86 was when Argentina went up 2-0, gave up 2 goals, and then won 3-2. Fortunately, no. But West Germany ended up winning the game 1-0 on a penalty kick by Andres Brema, RIP. Anyway, Pedro Monzon and Gustavo Dosati were both red carded, meaning that Argentina only had 9 outfield players. Of course, you don't count the goalie. This was terrible for all that. Number 6 was in the same tournament. This time, won a red card against someone who ruined an Argentine, 1990. And that was Benjamin Mossing for Cameroon. Argentina would play in the opening match of the World Cup in Italy because they were the defending world champs. They faced Cameroon first. And for some strange reason, Cameroon won 1-0 on a goal by one brother named Oman Beek, where the other one got carted off. Of course, Argentina had Pompidou in the net, and he fumbled it. But then Pompidou got hurt the next game, and they had to use Goycochea, which actually worked out for them into the final. But yeah, but that wasn't the major foul. The major foul was Benjamin Mossi going down the field and clipping Claudio Caniggia so badly that Caniggia's boot fell off. And Mossi, of course, was going to cut. So that's what happened. Number 5 is a massive match. It's not just one player, it's 4 players. Portugal versus Holland 2006. In the round of 16, Portugal would take on the Dutch. They weren't really rivals, but they were decent and all that. In Nuremberg, Valentin Ivanov actually decided to get card happy, giving up 16 yellow cards and 4 red cards. Yellow card means, warning, and red card. 2 yellow cards is 1 red card. You're screwed. Unfortunately, though, it was like 4 red cards. So both the Dutch and Portuguese lost 2 players. Portugal won the game 1-0, and Maniche scored the goal. This leads to number 4, and that's Wayne Rooney, England, Portugal, 06. Excuse me. England took on Portugal in the quarterfinals. This was seemingly England's best chance to make a semifinal in the World Cup. France, I think, was waiting for us. No, France won later in the day, but yeah. Wayne Rooney was coming through, and he stomped on Ricardo Carvalho's tender fiddles. That was enough for a yellow card. However, Cristiano Ronaldo's involvement and reaction kind of may have led to Wayne Rooney being red carded, which is stupid because CR7 and Rooney both played for Manchester United, my favorite English team. CR7 made a massive wink to the camera. England lost on penalties like they always do. Portugal got to the semis but lost to France, and they lost their place to Deutschland. I was happy about that. It's like, yay! Fuck. Anyway, yeah. It must have been hard to be a Manchester United fan with Rooney and CR7 on the same team. Oh well, they patched things up, and by 2008 they won the Champions League. Number 3 is David Beckham's petulant kick in 1998. It was the round of 16. England had just beaten Colombia and now took on Argentina. Our old rivals, the team that screwed him with the hand of God goal that should have been called back and Maradona given at least a yellow card. England and Argentina avoided each other for many years, and in 1998 they had to meet in the round of 16. David Beckham, for some strange reason, decided to flick his foot out and kicked out at Diego Simeone. The Slovakian referee that kind of looked like Curtis Joseph, but anyway, he came out and gave a red card to Beckham. A lot of people said if Beckham had not been petulant with that kick, he might have got a yellow card, if anything. Unfortunately, Beckham was booted. England should have beaten Argentina in regulation. And then in extra time, they had a goal called back. So Campbell thought he won the game for England, but nope, it wasn't. It was a foul in the box. Penalties game, England fell flat on penalties. David Beckham was hung in effigy for many years. It wasn't until his goal to beat Greece that sent England to the 2002 World Cup that he was actually hailed as a good guy. Number 2 is Luis Suarez, 2010 Uruguay. Uruguay was a decent team. Luis Suarez was controversial, not the least of fighting 3 people. Once in Holland in their league, once in the English league, and once in the World Cup 2014. But this is 2010. In South Africa, Ghana were trying to become the first African nation to reach the Final Four. They were the only African nation out of the 6 to make the round of 16. So they had a chance to beat Uruguay in the quarterfinals after beating the Americans in the round of 16. Unfortunately, though, Ghana had a chance. Dying moments, Uruguay was defending the net. The goalie couldn't do it, and then Luis Suarez, for some strange reason, decided to spot the ball with his hand. Big mistake, you're not the goalie. You can't touch it with your hand. Suarez was booted, given a red card, and Asamoah Gyan actually had a chance at a penalty. But he skied it. Uruguay went on penalties, and Suarez was celebrating in the tunnel. Unfortunately, though, Uruguay did lose in the semifinal. But yes, Suarez was playing stupid. Did he have to do that? And number 1, by far, it has to be Zizou. 2006 final. Zinedine Zidane was pretty good. 98, he helped France beat Brazil in the final with 2 goals. It didn't help that Ronaldo, not CR7, but Brazil Ronaldo, crashed out because of an epileptic fit. He got his revenge in 2002. But yeah, Zizou was good. He had that in 2002. Zizou had that brilliant volley that helped Real Madrid win the European Cup. And then in 2006, Zizou's performances helped France get to the final against Italy. Zizou did score to make it 1-0. And then, weirdly enough, Marco Materazzi scored to tie it 1-1. So in extra time, the two goal scorers bumped into each other. Materazzi was pulling on Zidane's shirt, and Zidane sarcastically said, "If you want my shirt, wait till the end of the match." And Materazzi basically said that, "I want that horror of his sister, or even his mother." Zizou then decided to headbutt Materazzi in the chest. Speaking of back chest. And unfortunately for Zizou, that was a red card game set match. He was done. His career ended in shambles. Italy won the World Cup despite having their own domestic problems. But yeah, Zizou's headbutt was just terrible. And I mean, yeah, you get mad at Materazzi, but you don't headbutt him. Maybe a slap would have given him a yellow card, and that would have been less troublesome. France fell in the 2010 World Cup and all that. But yeah, Zizou's still an icon, even though that his career will be marred by that red card. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond.